you very much for attending this workshop. In this workshop, what we are going to do is that we are going to focus on ATLAS.ti, qualitative data analysis tool. This is a widely used software in qualitative research, and I try my best to share with you almost around 80 to 90% of the features of ATLAS.ti in this two-day workshop. There is around 10 to 20% of features of ATLAS.ti. I'm not going to cover that because it is about collective research and a few people working together on the same project. So basically, it's not the focus of our training. So around 80 to 90% of the features we're going to cover, and I'm pretty much sure that you will learn everything today about qualitative data analysis. So before that, let me just let you know that first of all, I will share with you some basics of qualitative data analysis, just to ensure that we are thinking in the same line and we are talking about we are clear about what we are talking about. And then after that, we just switch to ATLAS.ti and start our job. So, all right, let me just put this into. All right, okay, so the main issue, okay, another thing before I start is that in case all of you have any questions, you can immediately ask your questions. So don't, it's okay, you don't think that you are bothering me or you are distracting me. Anytime that you have any questions, the online people the same. Anyone had any questions, you can simply ask me your questions during the presentation. So do not leave your questions for the end of the session. There is no problem with that. I try to give you around 10 to 15 minutes after 1 or maybe 1.5 hours of training. Then we will continue. We will have a lunch break, and then we continue in the afternoon. In the afternoon also, I will give you a 10 to 15 minutes break time. If I'm talking too fast or if I'm using some technical language, just let me know if you didn't understand what I said, so that I just slow down or I just explain the technical terms for you. All right, but basically there are not many technical terms here, but just in case you didn't understand some concept, you just ask me. All right. Okay, so qualitative research is about content analysis. It's different from a statistical analysis where we are involved in analyzing numeric data. So there are two major approaches to to content analysis. One of them is quantitative content analysis, and the other one is qualitative content analysis, and we will explain everything about that. All right, I just skipped this slide. It's just some information about me, and I'm pretty much sure you know me, so I'm just going to skip this. And the content analysis, the material that I have prepared for you basically come from these two articles. The first one is Brown and Clark 2006. This is the cornerstone for content analysis. If you are involved in qualitative data analysis and you have not read this article yet, it means that there is something wrong. So the most important thing for everybody in qualitative research is that they read this article at least 5 times to make sure that they know everything. This is the most important article in thematic analysis, in qualitative data analysis. So make sure that you read the first article. The second one is a working paper authored by Dr. Fries and a few of her colleagues in 2018. Basically, it's a translation of the first article into the context of ATLAS.ti. So how that the concepts in the first article are implemented in ATLAS.ti, you can find it in the second article. Also here, there is one link for you. And basically, this is a link for the website that publishes the information made by Dr. Brown and Dr. Clark. So this is, in fact, the most important source for qualitative data analysis. And certainly, you need to visit this website later to get more information about anything related to qualitative data analysis. Recently, I had one webinar for the University of British Columbia about multi-level theory development. I'm assuming that you know that theory building is one of the major objectives of qualitative research. So in this particular webinar, which is accessible through this link, you can simply have access to that particular webinar. Of course, in that particular webinar, I'm using co-occurrence analysis, and this is the thing that I'm also going to explore it today for you. But in this particular webinar, I have focused on multi-level theory development. So make sure that you watch that video later. In case that you are also interested in quantitative research, during the pandemic, we created a YouTube channel for quantitative and qualitative data analysis in 2019, 2020, something, around that time. And we produced some videos for our students, and we decided to upload them in our in this particular YouTube channel. So in case that later you are involved in quantitative data analysis, you can just watch those videos for EQS statistical package and also Smart PLS. And there is also one comprehensive playlist for ATLAS.ti version 8, which is different from the version that we are going to explore today, but majority of the concepts and techniques are in fact the same. So you can also watch those videos. I think the playlist for ATLAS.ti contains around 50 episodes of qualitative data analysis training, so you can also watch those videos. All right, I told you that in qualitative data analysis we are involved in content, and we have to conduct content analysis, and basically content analysis is divided into two parts, quantitative and qualitative. And the good thing is that software packages support both types of content analysis. So if you use a software, you can easily conduct quantitative content analysis and qualitative content analysis. And the beauty of using the software is that in almost all different research designs that we have in qualitative research, excluding the one which is highlighted in red, you can use a software to do content analysis. So there is only one qualitative research design that basically if you follow that design, you cannot use a software. But if you look at the list of the research designs here, you can see that majority of the famous research designs are listed here, and all of them, if you follow all of them, if your research design is one of those displayed in this slide, you can simply use a software to analyze your data. So basically the software makes data analysis much fun, more accurate, and more convenient for you. All right, now, as you already know, we have three different research approaches. We have quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method approaches. And under any of these, as you saw in the previous slide, we have different research designs. In the previous slide, you saw a few of the major research designs under qualitative research. So under quantitative, there are two major designs, experimental designs and survey design, as you can see here, and also we have a few designs under mixed method research. What I'm going to do is that I'm just trying to explain 5 of the most important and widely used research designs under qualitative approach in the subsequent slides, so that you have some more clear information about designs that we follow in qualitative research. So I start with narrative research. Basically, in qualitative research, one of the major research designs is narrative research, which is a design that can help you to focus on the lives of individuals and ask them questions and tell their stories. So basically, narrative research is about the story of people. If you would like to analyze the data you collect through a narrative research, you can use any of the software packages. The other one is phenomenological research, which means that you focus on a lived experience of individuals about a phenomenon. So basically, if you're focusing on a phenomenon, not individual people, not individuals' stories, you can basically follow the guidelines under this research design. So phenomenological research is another famous research design in qualitative research. Then we have grounded theory design, and basically this is the major design for theory development in qualitative research. So if in your research you are going to explore how some variables or some concepts are related to one another, how they are explaining other variables, then it means that you are going to build a theory, a new theory, and then you have to consider grounded theory research design in your qualitative research. And again, if you use this design, still you can use any qualitative data analysis software to analyze your data. And then we have ethnography, which is again about the patterns of behaviors, language, actions, and interaction of people. Normally, to collect data for this type of research, you need to go to some specific locations, observe people, how they interact with one another, interview them, record videos, audios, and then analyze all of these data in ethnography research. And finally, we have case study. Basically here, you just focus on a specific program, event, activity, process, or even one or a few individuals. You can focus on them, they become your case, and then you study them. And there are also some information about this. For example, cases are bounded by time and activity. So if something is not bounded by time and activity, it means that it is not a case in your research. And so you have to consider other research designs. So I just very quickly explain to you the 5 major research designs in qualitative research. And the good thing is that you can use ATLAS.ti or any other softwares, qualitative data analysis softwares, to analyze your data when you are following these designs. And basically, these are also the widely used designs by students. So if you are involved in any qualitative research, I'm assuming that you should be doing one of these research designs. All right. In the first slide, I told you that we have quantitative or basic content analysis and also qualitative or thematic analysis. And so these are the 2 different types of content analysis. Let's just focus on the first one, which is very simple, quantitative or basic content analysis. Basically, quantitative content analysis is about the frequency of the words. Have you ever seen any word clouds? Yeah, I believe you have already seen many different word clouds. So in a word cloud, there are some words, some of them are bigger in size, the others are smaller, and the size of each word in a word cloud indicates the frequency of that particular word in your context, in the document that you have. So basically, content analysis, quantitative content analysis, is about word clouds and word lists. So in a word list, you just have the name of, you just have the list of the words and also how many times they have been repeated in your text. So for example, here you can see one word cloud. It just shows that the word challenges has been frequently used in your document. This can indicate that the document for which you created this word cloud is mainly about challenges. It is also about leaders. It is also about research. It is also about American and European education, possibly. So a word cloud can just tell you, can just give you some basic ideas about the content of a document. So for any documents, it could be one article, it could be one interview, it could be anything. When you create the word cloud, it just gives you the information about the frequency of the words. And here you can see a word list for this particular word cloud. So here, as you can see, the word challenges has been repeated 11 times. That's why it's a little bit bigger. The other words here, for example, models has been repeated 3 times, and you can find it here somewhere. So the size of these words are in fact the same. So one question: do you think that just creating word clouds and word lists, you will be able to publish a paper? The answer is certainly no, because it is not considered as in-depth analysis. You just created these figures and tables using the frequency of the words. And basically this is done by the software, but I'm just telling you that you should not think that if I do quantitative content analysis, if I just create word clouds or word lists, I will be able to produce publications. This is not true. It just gives you some ideas about the content that you are exploring. That's all. So forget about publishing papers as the graduation requirement for your study. Because if you just do this very simple analysis, no publisher will publish your paper. All right, the next one is qualitative content analysis, what we call it a thematic analysis, and that is very important. So qualitative or thematic content analysis is important, and just for convenience, from now on I'm just using thematic analysis. So thematic analysis means qualitative content analysis, but because I just want to use the thematic analysis terms, I'm just using this. But remember, thematic analysis is the same as qualitative content analysis. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Very good. So here in this slide, you can see that Brown and Clark has described thematic content analysis or thematic analysis as a method for identifying, analyzing, reporting patterns or themes within your qualitative data. It minimally organizes and describes your data set in rich detail. So it means that you can simply organize your data using thematic analysis in a very managed and organized way, and you can categorize the information, you can categorize your data, and you can manage your data. Basically, data management and organization is 80 or 70% of qualitative data analysis. So if you manage your data, if you manage to organize your data, it means that you have already done majority of the job. And then frequently it goes further than this and interprets various aspects of research topics. So basically, if you are focusing on the research and if you have some qualitative data, you can categorize data, you can organize your data, and you can answer some research questions by identifying the patterns that are within your documents. But don't worry if you didn't understand this concept, because in the next slide I will give you some more information about thematic analysis and the steps in doing this analysis and how it is translated into ATLAS.ti. So the first step in thematic analysis is that you have to familiarize yourself with your data. You have to read the data that you have collected. If you have recorded videos, if you have recorded audios, you have to listen to them. You have to explore your data, all right? Previously, when people didn't use softwares and they had interviewed people and recorded their voices, they had to transcribe their voices. Nowadays, it's not a matter of concern because you can simply analyze audio files, video files, audio data, video data using software packages. So you don't need to transcribe everything. All right, so it saves you a lot of time, and also it increases the accuracy, because when you transcribe, sometimes there are some words you don't understand, sometimes you make mistake in the process of transcribing audio and video into text. And basically when you do this, data conversion in fact involves error. So when you do this, it means that the probability of making errors is higher, which means that the credibility of your results will be lower. All right, so here you can see that the first step is transcribing data if necessary, for example for audio files, but this article is for 2006, and even now they don't talk about transcribing data because it's not a matter of concern anymore. So you have to read and reread your data in the first place, and just read everything very carefully to see what you have collected. And then you have to generate some initial codes. This is what we call it deductive coding, which means that if you are, for example, focusing on sustainability in your research, in your qualitative research, so there are some common terms involved in sustainability research. For example, SDGs, United Nations, UNESCO, any organizations related to United Nations, any organizations or offices related to sustainability issues. So all of these could be some initial codes or initial concepts for you to consider. So this is what we call deductive coding, which means that when you collect your data based on the concept of your research, you can also have the initial list of the codes that are related to your topic. For example, as I just mentioned, sustainability. If you are focusing on sustainability, there are hundreds of words related to sustainability. You can search, you can Google it, you can find all of those words related to sustainability and just consider them as some potential codes or concepts that could be identified in your research or could be explored in your research. Another way of creating codes is inductive coding, which means that you forget about any existing list of codes and you just read or explore your data and identify some codes. This is something that I will show you in the maybe next 10 minutes. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas about what we are going to do, all right? Normally we do inductive coding. We read everything, we extract codes, we extract quotations, and I will explain to you how it works and what are basically these concepts. Then you can combine some codes to make some major codes, or what we call them themes, all right? So theme is just the collection of some important codes that are highly related to one another. So when you identify these themes, you can also find some indications how these themes and major codes are related to one another. And I will show you that in ATLAS.ti, how we connect, how we link these codes together. So basically, this is also another step. Then you have to review the themes. Sometimes, you know, in qualitative research, everything depends on you as a researcher. This is something very important. Please pay attention to me. In quantitative research, we use instruments to collect data. We have questionnaires, surveys. These are research instruments. We use these instruments to collect data, right? So we always talk about validity and reliability of our instruments because we want valid and reliable instruments to collect data to ensure the quality of our results, isn't it? In qualitative research, you are the instrument to collect data, all right? So this is just common sense. If you are angry and you interview people, the results will be biased later. If you are rushing, you interview people, the results will be biased because you are not a valid and reliable instrument. When you are hungry, when you are thirsty, when you are under stress, when you are rushing, when you are distracted, all right, when you are busy with a lot of things. So the most important thing in qualitative research is something that I'm going to share with you right now. Always be your best when you want to collect qualitative data, which means when you want to interview people, when you want to observe people to collect data, when you want to read some documents in your qualitative research, you should be your best. Because if you are stressed, you read something, then you will see that the quality is not what you wanted. Right now, I'm a little bit stressed. Why? Because there is a problem with our Wi-Fi. I'm using my hotspot. It has only 3 GB right now. And at the same time I am talking to you, I'm also thinking about our Wi-Fi. I'm also thinking about when this quota is finishing and I have to just, purchase some quota, you know. So that's why you can see that maybe I'm a little bit stressed now. And in this situation, if I interview any of you, all of these are in my mind. I cannot focus on my research questions. I cannot focus, on many other things. But fortunately, when you are under stress, there are 2 components: experience, intelligence of the people when you are under stress. And there is one important theory in industrial psychology which says that under stress, your intelligence is out. You cannot use your intelligence when you are under stress to do something. So what I am doing is that I am relying on my experience, because under stress, if you have experience of doing something, despite the stressful situation, you can do a good job. And since I have done this for several times, actually, despite everything is stressful for me right now, I'm using my experience as my cognitive resource to do my job well in teaching you this. So anyways, what I'm telling you is that stress is very important, and if you are stressful, you cannot simply interview people because the results later will be missed. All right? And then if it is needed, you can refine your codes and themes. You can rename them in ATLAS.ti or any other softwares. You can improve the codes or improve the patterns, improve the themes that you have identified in your qualitative data. All right? And then you have to produce the report for your research findings. So when you read, it's very simple. You read all of the information, you study all the information you have collected, you identify the major data segments, you give them a label. This label is called a code or a theme, and you try to see how these codes are related in your data. Then you build a network of these data elements, and basically you just report it as the result of your study. So basically the process is very simple. If you want to see these steps in the context of ATLAS.ti, it will be like this. So this is what we do in ATLAS.ti, and then I just switch to ATLAS.ti to start everything. I told you, you have to familiarize yourself with your data, and your data is stored in your documents. So normally, when you want to work with ATLAS.ti or any other qualitative data analysis software, what you need to do is to import your documents which contain data into the software so that you can manage your data, you can organize your data. So this is just common sense. If you have ATLAS.ti but you have not imported your documents inside ATLAS.ti, you don't have any data to analyze. So preparing and organizing your data means that you import all the documents, which could be audio documents, the interviews, video recordings, images, text, ebook, article, X-ray, film, whatever data that you have that comes in different formats, you can look at them as a document and you can import them into ATLAS.ti manage them, organize them as the first step. So you have all the data already in the software, in a project. The next step is finding quotations. Quotation means important data segments. Important data segment. It could be one word, it could be one sentence, it could be one paragraph, it could be two paragraphs, it could be one entire article, it could be anything. The size is not important. All right? And this is very important. Let me tell you in practice what a quotation looks like. Have you ever used a highlighter when you are reading one article, right? So when you are reading one article and then you see, oh, there is one paragraph which is important for you. You just highlight it, right? This highlighted paragraph is a quotation. It's an important data element, the important data segment. Is it clear? Why quotations are important? Because next time that you want to read that article again, you don't read the entire article. You just focus on the highlighted content. Am I right? Right? This happens in practice. If you read the article again, so why you highlighted those important paragraphs or sentences, right? This is the importance of creating quotations. When you want to create quotations, you should be your best. Because when you create the quotation, it's a one-time job normally, usually, and after that, it's very unlikely that you would like to find some more important data segments and highlight them. So your entire work later will be based on those highlighted content. Am I right? That is the most important thing in ATLAS.ti, in qualitative data analysis. Making sure that you are your best to identify those important data segments or quotations. Because later, you will not read the rest of the article. You will not read the rest of the document in your analysis. Am I right? So, creating quotations, almost the most important step in qualitative data analysis, because all the other steps that you can see here, creating networks, coding, creating themes, is based on the quotations. All right? So here we have documents, which means all the information that we have, all the documents, whatever we have. Quotations means that you delve into your data, identify important data segments, all right? And then creating codes. Code is simply a label. So for example, you read this page, you see this paragraph is important, you highlight it. It becomes a quotation. Now you look at this quotation and you see that basically this quotation is about leadership. Basically this quotation is about management. So management, leadership will be the code that you assign to this quotation. Even when you are reading the article, reading a document, you just highlight it and then you write a word next to it so that you know this quotation, this important data element is about leadership, about management. So a quotation can have multiple codes. All right? It's simple. In ATLAS.ti also you can do this very simply. You can assign multiple codes or labels to any specific quotation. So codes and themes are in fact the labels, or maybe you can look at the themes as major codes or a collection of codes or some code groups, something like that. But basically these are some concepts or some labels that you assign to your data, to your quotations in fact. Is it clear? The next step is networks. The last element that can help you to present your results, write your report. You can simply meaningfully connect any of the codes and quotations that you have with one another and build a network. And this network is just a visualization of your findings. So not only you delve into the qualitative data using ATLAS.ti or any other softwares, but also you can visualize your findings. You can relate all of those quotations and codes and things together and visualize how they are related to one another. You can identify which code is explaining the other code, which code is the opposite of the other code, which quotation is explaining or contradicting another quotation. So you can find different types of relationships between these elements. And believe me, if you don't use a software in your qualitative research, just think about what I explained so far. If you don't use a software, it's very, very unlikely that you can manage all of this manually. I just give you one example. When it comes to data management and organization, I collect data from students in USM and UM, all right? Now, I want to organize my data based on location, USM, UM. This is the interview I have done. I have to make 2 copies. I have to purchase 2 boxes. I put one in USM box, one in UM box. Now, I have collected from male and female students. I want to categorize again the same data. Again, I have to purchase 2 other boxes. I have to make 2 copies of this based on gender. I just copy the information for male in this box, information for female in this box. Then it comes to the level of study, undergraduate, postgraduate students. Again, I need to categorize and organize my data, because the more you do it, you will get more richer results. Again, I have to purchase 2 boxes, copy this, put this. This involves a lot of error, isn't it? Because you have duplicated one document, put it in several boxes, and these physical documents, you just change this, one document in one box, you forget to apply the same changes in other boxes, which means that there is no consistency in your result, in your data anymore, right? But if you use a software, you can organize these very simply and no errors. Anyways, when we're talking about research, no matter whether it is qualitative or quantitative, you are always thinking about the precision, accuracy of the results. And taking these simple steps minimizes the level of error, maximizes the level of accuracy. So that's very simple. Forget about software, forget about publication. For even I review articles for major journals in education, management, psychology. If I receive an article if I'm invited to review one article for a journal and the article is qualitative research, I just look at if I accept the invitation, I just look at the methodology. If the author has used the software, I just check the methodology, results, and everything. If the author, no matter who he is, I don't care. As long as they have not used the software, I just reject it. And I just explain in one paragraph that I normally check the methodology. In qualitative research, the major step is data management and organization. Without the software, it is not possible to accurately manage the data. So whatever you have found is not accurate. Finish, reject. This is what I do. And I think many people, if they have methodological knowledge, they will do that, because this is very important, because the author wants to share his or her research findings with people. So I'm now responsible to do the quality control as a reviewer. If there is no software, for me, there are a lot of problems. So that is very important, all right? Make sure that you use a software. I'm not telling you to use ATLAS.ti because I'm a senior trainer for ATLAS.ti, but I'm telling you that there are a lot of softwares, and the concepts that I'm going to share with you using ATLAS.ti can be applied to other softwares. I'm pretty much sure that USM has subscription for NVivo, which is another super major software for qualitative data analysis, very famous, widely used, a perfect software, similar to ATLAS.ti, or even better, I don't know. But I'm not promoting ATLAS.ti, I'm just using ATLAS.ti to teach you these concepts. All of the things that I'm teaching you, you can apply to other, using other softwares, NVivo, MaxQDA, whatever software you want to use. So, the importance of my discussion is that you use a software. If you want to use ATLAS.ti, possibly you have to purchase it. I know that they have a student license, which is not expensive, but still, if you don't want to spend that money, you can use NVivo in USM, no problem. As long as you apply these using a software, it's fine. Okay, any questions so far?
Can we transcribe interview through NVivo?
I think maybe a few years ago, I just tried to see whether we can use NVivo to analyze audio data. At that time, it was not possible, but I have not tried the new version. But I believe since there is a high competition between these softwares, the features, what you have in ATLAS.ti, you should have similar features in NVivo now. Yeah. It's just common sense. Okay, online people, you are fine? Any questions from your side? You're okay? Let me just call Sharmila, are you fine?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Are you clear about what I discussed so far?
Yes, yes. Very
That's
clear.
good. Thank you. How about Hudong?
Yes, Prof. I'm here.
Okay. Are you clear about whatever I have shared with you so far?
Yes, it's okay so far, Prof.
All right. That's
Yes.
good. That's good. That's good. So here in the room, any questions? Anything?
Yeah, I have question.
Yeah. Is it difficult?
No.
All right.
I'm just not clear about how to create quotations.
I will show you how it can be done.
Okay.
Very simple. It's very simple. I will show you. No problem.
Okay, I hope that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so let me just proceed with that. Okay, now we just go step by step here. We need to focus on documents. All right, documents. Now, a few issues about documents. Many different file types are supported ATLAS.ti. So if you have PDF documents, Microsoft Word documents, MP3 files, MP4 files, different formats for pictures or photos, tweets from Twitter, but not in this version. In the previous version, you could even import tweets from Twitter, but after Twitter was changed to X, there are some legal arguments between ATLAS.ti and Twitter. That's why this feature is not available now. But in previous versions of ATLAS.ti, you could import tweets as documents into ATLAS.ti. Very simple. You could do that and analyze it. If you have any Evernote accounts to have some notes, online notebook, then you can import your notebooks from Evernote into ATLAS.ti. If you would like to focus on psychology, on geographical locations, you can add some data from Google Map into your into your project. If you have presentations, Excel files, all of these now can be imported into ATLAS.ti and analyze it. So basically, whatever data type that exists is literally supported in ATLAS.ti. So you can have documents, you can have your information in documents imported in ATLAS.ti. Now, this is the icon that is used for documents, and this is the icon that is used for document groups. So remember, I told you, you can group your documents based on location, based on gender, based on whatever criteria that you have. You can create groups for your documents, and the document groups are displayed in ATLAS.ti using this icon. And for the individual documents, you can have this icon. So it's very simple for you to identify which element is a document in your project, which element is a document group, which element is a code, which element is a code group, and things like that. Another thing is that documents in ATLAS.ti are numbered with D1, D2, D3, etc. So the first document is D1, the second document is D2, the third document you import in your project is D3, and so DI is used for numbering the documents in ATLAS.ti project. There is no size limitation. You can import an ebook of 5,000 pages into ATLAS.ti. It could be one simple page. It could be one line in a Microsoft Word document. So the size is not important. All right? And basically, these documents are the sources of information. These are the documents that you are going to explore. You can do it manually or ask some or use some automatic features in ATLAS.ti to just go through documents. So these are documents, the first step. Then we have quotations. All right. The beauty of quotations in ATLAS.ti is that basically the quotations are displayed using these circles, and inside each circle you can see one element which indicates what type of quotation you have. So this is a quotation for a video in a video document. This is a quotation in a PDF file. This is a quotation in an image document. This is a quotation for a Google Map document, and this is a quotation within an audio document. Is it clear? So the icons also indicate what type of document you have, or in which document, or in what type of document this is created. Here you can see a quotation. This is in a text document. So you can see from here to here it is highlighted, right? Let me just change this to pen. So this is a quotation, isn't it? Right? It's a highlighted content, right? It is a quotation that has been created in a text document. You can create quotations in audio documents, video documents. You can create quotations in image files. You can create quotations in Google Map documents. So basically, you can create quotations within any type of documents. Is it clear? Another important point about quotations is how they are numbered in a project. So quotations are numbered using this format, A colon B, where A is the document number and B is the quotation number in that document. So for example, this is a number of a quotation, which means that this is quotation number 18 in document number 3. Is it clear? Very simple. Quotation number 18 in document number 3. Is it clear? Yes? So, again, because this is almost the most important sentence up to now, I reminded you again. All right? Be your best when you want to create these quotations, because next time when you want to read the document, it is almost impossible that you read the entire document. You mainly will focus on the quotations that you created previously. Is it clear? So make sure that you do a very, very good job when you create the quotations. All right? And this will be the foundation for the next analysis. Is it clear? Next, we have codes. And I told you, codes are just the labels that you assign to any quotation. Very simple. Code is just a label that is assigned to any quotation. Look at this. Look at this quotation. Sentiment analysis is the interpretation and classification of emotions, positive, negative, and neutral, within text data using text analysis techniques. So this is a quotation. What is it mainly about? It is about sentiment analysis, right? It is about emotion, right? So emotion will be one code for this quotation. Sentiment analysis will be another code for this, another label for this quotation. Does it make sense? So you read the quotation, you listen to the quotation, you watch the quotation, as long as it is a quotation created in a video or audio document, and then based on that concept, you assign a code to that particular quotation. Is it clear? Very good. So codes can be defined, can be renamed, can be deleted, can be duplicated, can be merged, can be split, can be commented, can be colored, can be linked, can be imported into your project, can be exported from your project, can be grouped with one another. So it means that code management is very simple. Basically, you can do whatever you want with the codes in ATLAS.ti, right? So this is a matter of code management, right? So you can do whatever you want using ATLAS.ti when it comes to managing and organizing the codes. Is it clear? And the codes are displayed using this diamond shape icon. So a code is like this. When you group the codes, the code groups will be displayed like this in your project. Is it clear? Yes?
So in the middle of your data analysis, say you named one code sustainability, but you wanted to change the name.
You just rename it.
And it'll change all the.
It is applied in the entire project. That is another beauties of using a software. If you do this, just give you one example, the same example. You have a 1,000-page document about sustainability. You have read everything maybe, and you have identified 200 quotations about sustainability, and you have coded that those quotations with the code sustainability. Now your supervisor tells you, I don't think that sustainability is a good code. I think you should use SDG, or you should use United Nations, or you should use something else. So if you don't use a software, what you need to do? You need to have your 1,000-page document and review it, find the quotations, delete the quotation, the code, give the new code to the quotation manually. How long it will take? 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If you use a software, your supervisor says, just change this sustainability to SDG. You just go to your codes, you just rename your code to SDG. The moment you just change this and press enter, in the entire project, that has been assigned to hundreds of quotations will be immediately changed to SDG. That is another beauty of using the software. So just imagine it. You even I think purchasing a software is a good investment because it saves you a lot of time, you know. So that is very, very important. Not this. I mean, I'm not promoting ATLAS.ti to purchase it, but please be clear, because I have no business relationship with them. I'm just a trainer, but I'm just telling you that this is a very good feature. If you use NVivo, most likely you will have the same feature. I mean, in any softwares. Yeah? But most people, I mean, luckily, as long as I know, we have subscription for NVivo. But even if we don't, if USM doesn't have subscription for NVivo, just consider this. Even if you purchase NVivo to take care of this, still you have made a very good investment. All right? All right, this is the format for codes. I think we just have maybe 1 or 2 slides, and then we just go to ATLAS.ti. All right, I'm just trying to show you different data elements that we are going to deal with in ATLAS.ti. So similar to documents and codes and quotations, we have a format for the names of codes. All right, so for example, this is the code. Our code is C, sustainability, SDG, leadership, whatever. In front of that, there is a bracket, 1, and then you have 2 values. For example, 2-3. The first one is groundedness, which means how many quotations are connected or labeled with this code in your project. So just imagine you create all of those quotations, you put them, you just look at the codes, you can see this groundedness value. So if your supervisor asks you, okay, how many quotations do you have in your study coded with sustainability? You just look at the groundedness value, you tell him or her that I have created or identified 200 quotations that are related to sustainability, coded with sustainability. So groundedness means how many quotations you have that have been linked or labeled to this particular code. Is it clear? We have another value, which is density. So this is density. Density means how many linkages are there between the codes. So for example, if you link this code, sustainability with SDG, sustainability with United Nations. So you link these, and then you can see the density value in front of your code. So the number of the codes that are linked to your code is displayed under this density value. Is it clear? So very simple. We have groundedness and density for the codes. And finally, let's focus on memos and how we code them. Another data element in ATLAS.ti is memo. Memos are displayed using these icons. They are not considered as documents. Remember, the process of creating quotations and coding those quotations happen in the context of documents. When you have documents, you can create quotations and code them. When you have memos, you cannot create quotations and codes. Memo, what is memo? Basically, memo is just a place you can write whatever you want in this particular memo. For example, what is your name?
Tom.
Tom. I am interviewing Tom and I'm asking questions. So basically, I'm recording her voice. So that audio file will be my document, isn't it? Because it contains the information. But during the interview, I can see that she's stressed. So I just find a piece of paper, I write that Tom was stressed during my interview. I just write it there. And I just write, Tom was also very smart. The temperature was okay. There was a problem with internet during the interview. I just write down whatever I want. And then I can save this as a memo. Memos doesn't contain the information I collected from her, but it contains some information that I can use it to better understand what she told me. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So memo, you can insert pictures. I can even take a picture of her, and put it in a memo so that I remember her face when I'm listening to her voice. I can say, oh, that was this lady. All right? Yeah. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So memos are good places for you to dump whatever you want about your interviews, about your methodology, about the environment, about whatever happened during your interviews, whatever happened during your data collection, whatever problems you face during your analysis. So whatever you want, you can add into a memo. So memos by default are not analyzable. It means that you cannot create quotations and code them. I cannot select this part and then say, okay, this is a quotation, all right, and then code that, because it's a memo. As you can see, this is the icon of a memo, which means that it is a memo, right? But the beauty of ATLAS.ti is that it can convert, if I want, I can convert to document memos. So memos in the first place are not analyzable. You cannot create quotations and code them. But if you convert them into documents, you will be able to analyze the content of the memos. And I will show you all of these. Don't forget, I'm just telling you the story, then I will show you the movie, all right? How it can be done. Is it clear? So, memos similar, this is the last slide for these, and then I will show you some examples, and then we will, I will give you maybe 10 minutes break time, and then we will start using the software. So this is the format for memos. It's very similar to the codes. We have a groundedness value and a density value, all right, for memos. So groundedness here means how many quotations are connected to this memo. Sometimes you can connect memos to the quotations if you want, all right? It's up to you. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So groundedness means how many quotations are connected to this existing memo. And density means how many codes or other codes or memos are connected to this particular memo. So remember, there is a small difference here between memos and codes. Here, I mean, the groundedness is exactly the same. How many quotations are connected to the memo or the code? But look at the density. For memos, we have memos and codes connected or linked to the particular memo, but for codes, you can see that we only have the codes. So remember, the density value for a code means how many other codes are linked to this particular code. But when it comes to memos, means how many codes and memos are connected to this particular memo. Is it clear? Yes?
Yeah.
We are almost done, and I think 50% of the job is already accomplished. Really. Really. When I explained everything to you. I told you the story. Whatever I mean, the rest of the thing is that I just demonstrate how it can be done. Very simple. And remember, it is not a statistical package. So basically, it's very convenient, easy to use. It's a very easy to use software. It doesn't mean that qualitative research is easy or not important. It just means that as long as you manage to do a good coding and create quotations, you are already done. And it consumes a lot of cognitive resources, in fact, because when you read, you should be sharp enough to identify the gist of that particular quotation, what labels should be assigned to that. So basically, it consumes a lot of resources, and maybe after 1 hour or 2 hours of coding, you will be very tired because you have used your brain for a long time. So basically, it's easy and difficult at the same time. I mean, you don't consider qualitative research as something that is not important. Even though I do, majority of my research is quantitative research. I'm very good at dealing with numbers because of my engineering background and good mathematical skills. So basically, I'm very good at dealing with numbers, and 99% of my research is about quantitative research. But because I like this, I just try to learn it and apply it in some research. So anyways, I'm a quantitative person promoting qualitative data analysis. So which means that to me, with extensive experience in quantitative analysis, this is a very important research method. Thematic analysis is very important. just showing you some examples of quotations and codes in the context of ATLAS.ti. So this is a text document as you can see. Here we have one quotation, right? Can you see that? This is a quotation, isn't it? I have highlighted this in ATLAS.ti. This is the code that has been assigned to this quotation. Remember, before I explain this, there is something that I would like you to understand. The focus of this workshop is about technical skills of doing the job. So whatever code that I assign to any quotations when I'm doing demonstrating the techniques, we assume that these codes are in fact true codes to be connected to those quotations. Because I don't want to waste your time and tell you, okay, let's read this together to see what is it about and then find a quotation for, well, a quote for this, because it is just waste our time. So the main assumption, the online people, please be very, very careful. Our assumption is that in all the examples that I'm showing you in these slides, and whatever demonstration that I do for you, whatever code that I assign to any quotations is in fact a true code being linked to a quotation, and it's just, I just want to show you how you can use the software. So I don't want to waste your time by asking you to read these 5 pages and then find something. I will give you a small project at the end of the workshop tomorrow just to do some hands-on activities, but I don't want to waste your time during my lecture asking you to read something, or even I waste my own time to read something, to listen to something, and then find the code for that. So we just assume that the codes are in fact the best codes or true codes being connected to the quotations. Is it clear? Everybody, online people, are you clear? Can someone respond to me, please?
Yes, doctor.
That's good. So there is one quote here, competition, which means that this particular quotation is about competition. Is it clear? Here you can see 3, 1. This is the number of quotation. So it means that this is the first quotation in the 3rd document, right? Very simple. Look at the next example. This is another quotation here. What are the codes that are connected to this quotation? Accountability and diversity, right? This means that this quotation is about accountability and diversity. Is it clear? So you can apply multiple codes to a single quotation. Is it clear? And what is the number of this quotation? 3, 2, which means the second quotation in document number 3. Is it clear? So later when I tell you, okay, what is quotation 825? Can you show it to me? You know that I'm talking about quotation number 25 in document number 8. Is it clear? Very good. Now, this is another example in a video document. All right, so you can see we have a video here, and from here, this moment until this moment, this important person in quantitative data analysis, Professor Quran, is talking about something important. So I have created a quotation from here to here in this video file, and in this particular video segment, this person is talking about accountability and competition. Is it clear? So you can see that inside a video document, you can create quotation. If you don't use a software, how you can create these quotations? You have to watch this, you have to transcribe whatever he said, then you use Microsoft Word to key in everything, then you need to import that Microsoft Word document into ATLAS.ti, then you have to read it, and then you have to create quotations. So just imagine how much time can be saved. Project, later, if someone asks you for some quotations, you can only, I mean, this is a 2-hour video. Let's assume that this is a 2-hour video. My quotation is about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So you just need, even if you want to publish it in a journal, you just need to transcribe that particular 4 minutes and 20 seconds of video rather than the entire 2 hours video. You get my point?
Yeah.
Very simple. This is a quotation created in an image document. So I've just selected this picture here, this area. Okay. This is the quotation number 6.1, which means quotation number 1 in document number 6. And it is about COVID-19 trial, first volunteer patient. Is it clear? Very simple. So there are 3 codes being connected to this quotation within this image. Is it clear? Very simple. So these are some examples. And then we have networks. I'm not going to talk about networks. It will be for maybe in the afternoon. So what I'm going to do is that it's now 10:30. I'm going to give you 15 minutes break time. Just try to digest what I've shared with you. When we start at 10:45, what we are going to do is that I'm going to open up my ATLAS.ti. I will show you the environment of ATLAS.ti. I will import some documents. We will create some quotations. We will code them. We will manage some document management and organization, code management and organization, and some of these stuff. Is it okay? Very good. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you in 10:45. Okay, you can also enjoy your whatever is provided here. Online people, you also maybe you just enjoy a cup of coffee or something. I don't know, but anyway, enjoy whatever you are doing. You are going to do.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
我昨天的帽子忘了，今晚拿过来。这里。进。因为它是。
One of my problems is that when I talk too loudly, that then after a short while, I cannot talk. I mean, I can remember that during my lectures in classes, sometimes people from other classes used to knock the door and complain about my voice. Really. So that is a problem.
It is very clear. It's clear and slowly, so we can have time to understand.
Okay.
Any of them.
So far, any issues?
Yeah, but it's just maybe to figure out how to use them.
No problem. I'm going to demonstrate everything. So I just told you the story. I will demonstrate everything.
Prof, there is an issue with me because my mark system.
Oh, I mean the Mac version and the Windows version, they have the same features, but since I'm not also using Mac, I don't know. I can find the features if you could not find them.
Yeah.
But I mean the process that I will demonstrate may be a little bit different from what you will experience in your Mac.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe.
But I will. There are two things we can do. Number one is that maybe you just sit next to someone who is using Windows. But if you could not figure out what I'm telling, maybe I just can have a look. But since I'm not a Mac user, I'm not also familiar with Mac.
Okay.
And I try to help you as much as I can.
Yeah, if I can, because if I can use mark assessment, it's very helpful for me.
I try my best.
Thank you.
We want to ask that as for the ethnography, sorry, ground phenomena, they both are overlapping. So how we can
What is overlapping?
phenomenology and ground? Because I think in ground theory we used to explore the different experiences of and in phenomenology we explore the some certain phenomena. But how to choose that?
I think for grounded theory, normally the main thing is to develop the theory. So, for example, there are some concepts. It's not clear how they are related to one another. So, which means that there is not a theory to define how these are connected. So, when your main objective is to understand how some components are connected, you should go for grounded theory. But if the phenomenon itself is important, then you can maybe focus on that.
And what about using some like now what here, if I want to do analysis, I'm doing inductive then I'm trying to, just insignificance, but is it not research article as well?
In qualitative, you can use some existing theories to guide. For example, let's focus on grounded theory. You have some concepts, you have some interview data, and the interview data is indicating that, for example, the people said that this variable, or for example, the interview said that my emotion influences my performance. So this gives you the indication that if emotion and performance are in your framework, so you can connect them from emotion running to performance. Also, there are some theoretical grounds that can explain this. There are many theories that basically indicate that the emotions are related to performance. So you can use them to support whatever you get from your data to link these two variables. So this is what we call using existing theories to underpin what you get from your data that can explain the relationship between some concepts.
We can adjust our themes into previous.
Yes. All right.
Okay. I installed this.
No, not version 9.
Not this one. This is different version.
Yeah, version
Because
9.
I installed this before. Last year. Yes, last year.
So if you open it, then possibly they will ask you to update.
Update.
Yeah, update to the.
Update to this
Yeah,
version.
it will update to the.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Same secure. It is being recorded, right?
Update. 拉回来差不完，流量回来了。那对吗？这突然差不多了。
Okay. Yes.
我干完了，我下身上没班了，我告诉你，打了几天吗？
It seems that it's working.
玩意儿来了，
Okay, thank you.
他每天是去到广播站。
So you can connect to USM Secure as well. If you want, there is USM Secure Wi-Fi.
Okay. Same password?
Your email and your password. The student's email. It seems that Jefferson doesn't like qualitative business. I mean, the gentleman doesn't like qualitative. They're just thinking about
online
Oh, maybe, yeah.
online.
啊 USM secure right?
Wi-Fi trust. Wi-Fi trust.
USF.
哦 USM secure。哦，
现在我们这个 WiFi 还是可以用手机发射的吗？
你知道呀？试一下这个是不是用的是这个 ATLAS？
说是这样，因为它有一个发射器。
能用。
哎，这比你要喝点。
哦，不用，我带有水，我也不是白开水。Also show that 你需要喝点儿。有没这提神？
用了，你知道吗？重点两点。
OK。有生态味儿，它也放出去。
Careful when I shop. Where did that? Where did you know?
还有睡不着，中老年朋友，对，为什么睡不着？
我是半年的学习，一晚上
我女儿也不睡，她又要怎么学？我知道，我也是，这个没有必要。Yes。
那次来上那个课啊，他那个再跟他商量一下。 然后他说你看没？他晚上打给我，关心真的手机菜吧，我微信和不然咱们交流吧。现在是反应过来是这样做呀？我让你点他在说什么？我只听那我只为啥他在说话，我都没注意他在说，好不好？这个特别好喝，4种水果，这个不好喝，这个也挺好喝，这个上面全是没有，他俩都是18。
你也可以跟吃的吗？啊，
价格也是
没有，也不是很认识，而是同认识一两个，
什么科系的？
不同都不同，艺术的。
数，
这个朋友是哪个科的？
不用说他的艺术啊，我们不用哪个学艺术了，然后应该算个艺术，你老师是艺术学的，
那是会有世界 professor，
哇，
我都是刚才说的。那基本上是我这样的是好像那丽莎，
哦，那丽莎，
还有游泳器，
哎，那小鸟。 他的老师叫小鸟，那个京东快
我会啊，是我会吧？我会最近，哎呀，我昨天没见他了，上次哪见的他？他好像也是我们的老师，专门开课老师，
这是玛丽莎，
专门开课了。
这不是玛丽莎是在哪里啊？哎，这是我们也不开始。
哦，做完第一次了，第一次那次，
然后因为我们有个同门做做玛丽莎，
我以为不是体力的。
有啊，另外吧，我们就是小白
是吧？他在的，不是你们也有是吧？
对，我们也有。
我每次去听我们同门的那个 presentation， 感觉到莫丽莎那种杀气十足，来放马过来，
连上了，我连上这个什么了哈？
你的全程 C， 一会儿
他说话不停的，
对，然后
而且很
不挺快，有理有据，不服都不行的。不是那种给你套帽子的。行，你看你写的怎么样？有人放这个啊？你觉得放这个合适吗？
应该会不说这样的话。
没有，他就是这样说，他就这样说的。你看你这里具体页写的什么？你有没有写？你的理由是什么？
谁呀？谁？
你导致的，你导致
听了？你听了？
必须听啊！
谁打电了？
我同门啊，
要不要聊啊？
别人说认识这个啊，什么意思？然后说到这儿就来一个结论，所以说
不对，来，
所以说就是我说哇，那你心里多强大才拥有那样的导师。
我们被他表演。今天他改变画风了，
真的啊？
用不上，
看
开必要不见面。现在这次可以见，可以约，直接秒回，基本上1分钟之内会回。1分钟之内会回复你。
我懂了，那怪他想要亲人嘛？
对，要不你就退，要不你就往前。
对，他就图亲人了，不管了。就是感觉是听他的那个对那个，就是第一个庆幸，哇，还好的不是我的 partner，然后第二个就是哇，哎呀，好享受啊！这个关了没有啊？
关了吧，不是应该关了。难道王到外面去了？这可以讲。
问一下，
关了，我看不正在关。
我给掉了，他不是啦，
关了吧，因为他刚才还
我们没关，
但是那个
没静音，对，我看他没静。
话，行，把老师那个交给了啊。
没有。
All right. Okay then. Okay, everybody, can you, the online people, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear, doctor.
All right, that's good. Did you hear the gossips here?
Yes, very clearly.
Oh, okay, great.
But we couldn't
So,
understand the
all right,
language.
now. That's good, that's good. So, all right, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, let me just share my screen first. I'm going to run ATLAS.ti and I'm going to show you whatever I have already explained, how they can be applied in ATLAS.ti, all right? So I'm just going to open my ATLAS.ti. I hope you have already downloaded and installed this. This is the main interface of ATLAS.ti when you open the software. A few issues to explain here. Number one is that there are very good resources on the right-hand side, some video tutorials, the website of the software, and also the manual and the quick tour of ATLAS.ti. So my suggestion is that you consider these two links as well as these video tutorials. So there are a lot of video tutorials in case that you wanted to see those videos. I think it will be a good idea and it will give you a lot of information. So just consider this information in the right panel. And all right, here you can see that I have one project already here. If I double click on that, I can open it. Also, there are some other options. If you want to rename a project, you can simply click on this and rename it to whatever you want. You can delete this project, you can duplicate it. So basically there are some information here. And also, if you want, you can upload it to the cloud that has been provided by ATLAS.ti for you. So when you purchase the software, there is a cloud space for you to upload your project and keep them in a safe place. So anyways, here you can see that this project is not uploaded to the cloud because of this cross line on this cloud. So which means that this is a local project. It's not uploaded to my cloud. Now I'm going to delete this project because I don't want this. So here you can see that I have no projects. So the first step is to create a project, isn't it? We have to create a project followed by importing documents into ATLAS.ti. So to create a new project, I just click on new project. So there should be a project name. So it will be project, my project, something like that, my project. It could be anything. If you want, you can add something as a comment here. So I just write something. This is my first project for the workshop. All right. And then I click on create. When I do that, what happens is that the project is created and ATLAS.ti main window will automatically open. So you can see that this is the project that I have created. The name of the project is my project. I added a comment to this project. This is my first project for the workshop. So you can see that here. If you want, you can edit the comment for this project as well by clicking on this link. So you can click on that and then just add something if you want. The project focuses on documents focuses on document management, something like that, anything. And then you just save it. Now you can see that I have changed the comments for this project. So the comments are always useful because when you add comment to something, you are providing more information later when you are referring to your project. In case you have multiple projects with similar names, then it helps you identify which project you would like to focus on. Is it clear? So this is the main window of ATLAS.ti for an empty project. It's empty because if you look at here, you can see the value in front of documents is 0, which means there is no document in this project. There is no codes, there is no quotations, memos, and networks in this project. Is it clear? On the left side, you will see the Explore panel. And basically, again here, you can see all the data elements in your project in a tree format. Is it clear? In front of each of these, you can see the value of 0, which means there is nothing under any of these categories, right? Okay. Now, there are a few tabs here. The first one is home. And here, basically, there are very important options. If you would like to manage and organize your documents, you can click on this document manager or document groups manager. If you want to focus on your quotations, you can click on this. If you would like to organize and manage your codes, you can use this option for organizing and managing memos. This memos, networks, and also the links. Links means the relationship between different data elements. I will explain this maybe later. Then we have search and code. Basically here there are some features that can help you to do automatic coding. Now, automatic coding is a dual-edged sword. Am I using the right term? Yes? All right. So it has advantages and disadvantages, right? When it is automatic, it means that everything is done by the computer and AI. So which means that it might not be as accurate as it could be. Is it clear? So in case that you are using any of these search and code features, later you need to verify the results that are produced by the computer. Is it clear? So remember, AI and automatic features for coding, they are good, but they might not be as accurate as you expect, as accurate as you can expect. Is it clear? So in case that you would like to do some automatic coding, you just need to go to this tab, and there are a lot of options here. I will explain many of them for you. Is it clear? Then we have this Analyze tab, which is the most important one, because it can help you to expand the basic results of thematic analysis to some more advanced levels. Okay? So there are three main options here. We will explore all of these in detail because they are very important. The first one is the query tool. Query tool can help you to better get information about the quotations that you have created. So you can define a query to see what quotations in your project can satisfy that particular theory, that particular query. So it basically gives you a lot of power to understand the dynamics of the quotations in your project. Then next to that, you have co-occurrence analysis. And this is a very, very important feature because it can help you develop theories or theoretical frameworks that explain how variables or codes are connected to one another. So if in your research you would like to build a new theory, basically this co-occurrence analysis is the major feature that you need to use. So for relationship analysis between the codes and variables, remember variables in quantitative research means codes in qualitative research, okay? So if you would like to understand or study the relationship between the codes, you can simply use co-occurrence analysis. If you have done some basics of quantitative analysis using SPSS, you should know what is t-test. Who knows what is t-test? T-test is used to compare two groups in terms of one variable. So for example, if you would like to see the differences between male and female students in terms of academic achievement, you should do a t-test. If there are more than two groups, you need to conduct ANOVA analysis in SPSS. So for example, you would like to compare students from undergraduate students with master students with PhD students. So you have three categories of students. You would like to see which group performs better. So you would like to compare these groups in terms of performance, right? This is in quantitative research. You could have the same concept of group comparison using code document analysis in ATLAS.ti. So if in your research you would like to develop a theory that explains how groups of people are different in terms of one or a set of codes, you can use co-document analysis. Is it clear? This is a very important feature. We will talk about that. Then you have enable intercode mode and also intercode agreement. This is basically done when there are multiple researchers working on the same project and there is one project administrator. So basically it is a feature that is used for collective data analysis. Okay? Now, despite for huge projects, it might make sense that some individuals do the data analysis under the supervision of the project administrator. But from a practical point of view, I personally don't like this idea, because I told you, you are the instrument in qualitative research, and whatever experience, emotions, whatever capabilities that you have will influence the analysis. Now, if we have one person to do the analysis, it's much better than you have two different people with different personalities, with different emotions, with different interests to do the analysis and merge their analysis in a project. So basically, I don't like this feature, and this is something that we are not going to explore. But in case that there are big projects and there are a few data analysts working under one project administrator, then this feature becomes handy and they can just do the data analysis qualitative, qualitative data analysis collectively. Is it clear? Then we have important export feature. On the left-hand side, there are some features here that can enable you to import some data from other resources to your project. So for example, I told you, if you would like to import tweets from Twitter into ATLAS.ti, you can consider this. But right now, you can see that this feature is not working because of some license issues between ATLAS.ti and Twitter. Is it clear? But in previous versions, you could do that. I also have a video for this. If you go to that YouTube channel that I shared with you at the beginning of the class, you can see how it works. If you have EndNotes account and you have some online notes stored in your EndNote account, then you can import them into ATLAS.ti and analyze them using this feature. If you have some articles in your reference manager, Mendeley, EndNote, there are different reference management softwares. If you have some articles, you import them with the citation information into your project using this feature. I'm going to show this to you how it works later. If you have some survey data, you can import them and look at your survey data from a qualitative perspective. It might be a good choice in case that you are involved in mixed method research, because in mixed method research, you are doing qualitative and quantitative research. How many of you are PhD students in the room? So there are five of you are PhD students. Let me tell you something frankly. I told you, I have extensive knowledge in data analysis, both qualitative and quantitative. Possibly in the country, I don't want to tap on my shoulder, but you will never find someone with my experience. And my important advice for PhD candidates is that forget about mixed method research in your research. And I will tell you why. A good research involves high quality advanced data analysis. You cannot use simple analysis to answer complex research questions. So there is a consistency between research questions and the level of analysis. Normally, simple questions require you to do some basic analysis. But if you would like to do a good job and answer some sophisticated research question, you need to also use advanced methods to answer those questions. This just makes sense, isn't it? A PhD candidate within 3 years, it's very, very unlikely for them to gain advanced qualitative data analysis expertise and advanced qualitative data analysis expertise and apply them in one project. Even if you go to USM library and just find some mixed method thesis, you can see that either qualitative part or quantitative part is very weak from a data analysis perspective. Because the students, I mean, many of the PhD students are also working in some universities or some other places. They have family issues, a lot of other commitments, right? So it's very difficult for a PhD candidate to gain that knowledge at top levels. Therefore, if you just go to library, it's actually impossible to find a high quality thesis addressing an important research topic that has utilized advanced qualitative and quantitative parts. So if you just go there, you can see that sometimes qualitative is good, quantity is basic. Sometimes quantitative is strong, but qualitative is basic. That's why you cannot gain that knowledge during the PhD. This is based on my observation, my experience, and based on almost 10 years of extensive advanced quantitative and qualitative data analysis experience that I have. So I always, I have 14 PhD students, I always tell them just focus on quality or quantity. After you are graduated, do whatever you want. I mean, you can have time. If you have done a qualitative research, if you are interested in quantitative, just do this after your graduation. Just graduate, get this PhD, go to the next level in your life, then do whatever you want to do at that time. All right? That is just my philosophy about this. I have seen many supervisors in different universities. They just tell their students, do mixed method research, do mixed method research. Why? Because they want to show that to the department or to the faculty that we are capable of supervising mixed method studies. But if you just look at their previous publications, you can see that they don't really have the expertise. They are just interested, but they don't have the expertise to help you. Even you might be left behind. I mean, you are involved in something, your supervisor is capable of handling quantitative or qualitative, then you have to find some other resources. It makes it, an unpleasant research for you. But after your PhD, do whatever you want. So this is my philosophy. I don't know what research you are involved in, but anyways, if you are doing mixed method research, if you have some survey data, you can import it to ATLAS.ti and look at your data from a qualitative perspective. Look at your quantitative data from a qualitative perspective. Is it clear? But take my advice. If you have not decided about your PhD study, take my advice from an experienced person, and just focus on problems that can be addressed either through qualitative or quantitative research, and do a high quality job. That is, having a PhD thesis, a high quality qualitative thesis or a high quality quantitative thesis is much better than having a mixed method research with both types of research very limited and basic. Even you don't want to show your thesis to other people, but when you do a high quality qualitative research or a high quality advanced quantitative research, you are proud to share your thesis with everybody. You know, you just want to show the people that, oh, this is the thing that I did. It's very advanced and perfect. Anyway, if you can also import some comments from social media, for example, comments for the videos in YouTube, and import them into ATLAS.ti using the social network comments. This is, something extra you can, if your research is about maybe YouTube, I mean the comments that people make for YouTube videos, for example, you can just import all of those comments into your ATLAS.ti and analyze them. If I have done a research on sustainability and I have identified 200 codes, and now you would like to do a similar study on sustainability, you can import my code book, my 200 codes, into your project. If you would like to see how I have grouped my documents in my own research, and you would like to do the same thing, you can just import my document grouping into your research. So basically, this is what you can do. Also, if you would like to export some of the information, the frequency of the codes and quotations into some statistical programs like Excel or SPSS, you can use these features. So anyways, import and export is like a bridge. You can import something into ATLAS.ti, you can export something from ATLAS.ti to some other softwares. So basically, it's just a bridge that connects ATLAS.ti with some other softwares. Is it clear? So what I want to tell you is that it is not, in fact, the main analysis. There is no analysis here. It's just some features that enables you to import and export data into your project. But the main analyzers are here. Code document analysis, co-occurrence analysis, query tool, and also under the home where you can just add some documents and do the analysis in this. So mainly for basic and advanced type of analysis, you just need to go to the home tab and also the analyze tab, and to some extent using search and code tab. So for the import and export, basically you can just import some data, and then after that you have to analyze everything. And here also there are some, there is one one tab for tools. Here again, it's about user management when some people are using the same software, I mean using the same license of the software, or some people are working together. So basically this is something that we're not going to explore. And then you have the help menu. Again, here if you want to go to YouTube channel for ATLAS.ti and see some videos, you can go here, and you want to send feedback to them, for example, you can use this, or even live chat, you can try. I haven't tried this, but you can try to see whether they respond to you promptly or not. Is it clear? All right, let's go to home tab. What is the first step, guys? Who can tell me? What to do now? We have our project already created. So what is the first step?
Maybe import our documents.
What's your name?
My name?
Yes?
Yanni.
Yanni.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So Yanni just pointed out to the main issue. So we need to import documents, right? Adding documents is very simple. You just need to go to Home tab and click on Add Documents. Now you need to locate the documents. I have already shared with you the documents, right? If you want, you can watch my demonstration at the same time. If you want, you can do it with me. I am not doing it fast and I explain everything, so you can do it with me at the same time if you want. All right? So I just locate the files I shared with you. The files are in fact in my in this folder. So these are the files. As you can see, I have 4 articles in PDF format. I have one audio file, I have one image file, I have one survey in Excel, the survey data in Excel format, I have a video file, I have 2 Microsoft Word documents, right? So I just select all of them. Now all of them are selected, and I just click on Open. Now ATLAS.ti is adding my documents to my project. Done. How do we know that it is done? Look at this. Here in front of documents, it says 10. It means that there are 10 documents in this project. Also, under the Explore section, you can see in front of documents, the value is 10, which means I have 10 documents in this project, right? If I click on this triangle, you can see the documents, right? These are the 10 documents I imported into ATLAS.ti. Am I right? Look at each of, okay, now look at the naming of these documents. They are numbered with D1, D2, D3 until D10, right? I told you that the documents are numbered using D sub I, D1, D2, D3, etc. Is it clear? Yes? So I have 10 documents. In front of each document, there is a value of 0. What does it mean? It means that there is no quotation within any of these documents. Does it make sense? It's just a document. How I can see these documents? I just need to double click on any of them. So for example, this one, I double click on that. You can see the document here. I can change the size, zoom in, zoom out, see? I can scroll. See, I can see everything here. Am I right? Yeah. So this is the document. If you want to read it, you just open, read, whatever you want to do. Then you close it. If you want, you can close it using this button. Let's open another document. I'm going to open this document, document D6. It's a picture. So here you can see I have document 1, document 6 next to it, right? Again, I can change the size if I want to, whatever I want I can do, right? Is it clear? Let's have a look at this video document. So this is a video document, as you can see. I can play it. But I don't know why you cannot hear that. I don't know whether online people can hear that or not. But anyways, this person is talking, right? And you can see this, you can see that I can simply manage this document in my ATLAS.ti. Is it clear? Let's have a look at an audio file. This is an audio file. I just play it. Right? So you can see that this, you know, you look at this bar, this horizontal red bar, you can see that basically the audio file is played, isn't it? Yeah. But you cannot hear that. I don't know. Maybe I just asked one of my colleagues here to come and tell me how it works. It's something. This is an audio file. I have shared my screen. I played, but people here cannot hear that.
But they hear.
Do you know how it can be solved?
Yeah,
okay, never mind. Okay. So anyways, you can see that we can play audio files in ATLAS.ti, right? So if I want to switch to other documents, I can simply click on these tabs, document 1, 6, 8, 9, 8, 5, right? So basically it's very simple. You can simply open multiple documents, work on multiple documents at the same time. And then if you want to close them, you can simply close them like that. Siri, can you let me know how we can hear the voice of this audio in this audio?
When you share, you are sharing screen only, you have to click share with audio also.
So I just stop the share. Oh, share computer audio. Right. Thanks so much.
Okay.
It's on my mind. You can hear that, but people here cannot see. They cannot hear. I mean, just consider this as an interview, although it's just a music. All right. So basically, you can play video, audio, and also you can work with PDF text documents. Even the text document, this is a Microsoft Word document. Let me open it for you. So you can see this is a Microsoft Word document. This is a PDF file, image file, audio file. So basically, it's very simple, isn't it? You just open any document. Now, what is the next step? Create quotations. And remember, the main principle before creating quotations is that you are not tired, you are not stressed, you are not hungry, you are not rushing, you are in your best, make the quotations, right? Now, if you want to create quotations, what you need to do, for example, let's focus on this PDF document. I have to read everything. Recent years has seen the rise of blah, 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 right? So you have to read everything. Then find important data segments. So if that sentence is important or that paragraph is important for you, you just consider this as a quotation. Is it clear? But right now, I don't want to waste the time reading things, right? So we just create some quotations. But remember, you can create quotations. This is one step. And then tomorrow, maybe you would like to check your quotations and quote them. This is one approach. So there are two approaches. Approach number one, you create quotations. Later, at any other time, you can quote the quotations. You can assign some quotes with them. But to my experience, it's much better if you create the quotation and code it at the same time. So the second approach indicates that you create the quotation and code it at the same time. Okay? So this is the best practice to me. That's why I'm going to show this, both of them to you, but we will focus on the second one. So if I want to create a quotation, it's very simple. I just click here, drag my mouse until here. So to me, this is an important paragraph, right? I just select it, right click on that, and select create free quotation. Okay, is it clear? Now you can see that I have created a quotation. The quotation number is 11, right? You can see that, right? Which means quotation number 1 has been created in document number 1. Is it clear? Yes? So it's a quotation. Now, in front of document 1, you can see the value has changed to 1, right? Immediately it is applied in the project. Isn't it beautiful? You don't need to check everything manually. Let's create another quotation. I just go to this image file and I just select this area, right click on that, and then from the menu that is displayed, I click on create free quotation. Done. Right? So what is the number of this quotation? Quotation 6.1, which is quotation number 1 in document number 6. Is it clear? And if you just go to the explore section, you can see that in front of document 6, the value has changed to 1, which means there is a quotation in this document. Is it clear? So you can simply create quotations in different documents. But to me, the best practice is that you do the same. I mean, you create quotations and quote them at the same time. All right? Now, let me just show you how you can assign a code to this quotation, quotation 6.1, the quotation that we created in this document number 1, and then I will show you how you can create quotations and quote them at the same time. All right. Assuming that you have created some quotations, now you want to quote them. How you can do that? It's very simple. You just right click on the quotation and then click on apply quotes. Can you see the apply quotes? All right. Then there is a window that is displayed here, and it asks me to give the quotes for this quotation. So for example, I'm just using English alphabets as the codes. So for example, code A. It could be satisfaction, performance, whatever it is. I just use A. Is it clear? Okay. Then I click on this plus sign, and now you can see that the code A has been assigned to this quotation, right? Is it clear? And look at here what we have. Under the code section, the value is 1, right? It means that I have created one code as well. If I click on this triangle, you can see the code that I created just now. What is the groundedness value for this code? It is 1, right? 1. It means there is one quotation in my project coded with the code A. Is it clear? And the density value is 0 because there is no other codes in my project linked to this particular code. Is it clear? Look at here, the documents, document 1. If I click on this triangle, you can see the quotation that I created in this document, which is quotation 1.1. And if I click on this triangle, you can see the code that has been assigned to this quotation. So everything is integrated. The moment you create an element, a quotational code, it is applied in the entire project and everything is updated automatically. Is it clear? Now let's go to document number 6. And this is a quotation I created. If I want to quote that, I just right click on the code and on the quotation and select apply codes. Now, I can add codes by keying in the code here. For example, code B, I apply it. Code C, I apply it. So you can see that I applied code B and C to this quotation, right? Also, look at this code A. Code A is available in my project. If I click on this button, I can also apply code A to this quotation as well. Right? Isn't it beautiful? Very simple. Very simple, isn't it? Now, let's see what we have in our project. Let me close everything and then I show you. We have 10 documents. I have created some quotations in document D1 and D6. If I click on this triangle, I can see the quotation. And if I double click on the quotation, I can see the quotation itself. Right? Look at here, I have document D6 and this is the quotation. If I double click on that, I can see the quotation. And if I click on this triangle, small triangle, I can see the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So for this quotation, quotation 6.1, there are 3 codes, right? Can you see that? You can also see them here, right? Is it clear? So you can create quotations, you can apply codes to them in an approach which just requires you to create quotations and later you quote them. This is not my favorite approach. My favorite approach is that you create quotations and at the same time you quote them. Much easier and more convenient, more efficient. Okay? How we can do that? Very simple. I just go to this Word document, for example. I'm just selecting the data segment that is important. I'm assuming that I have read this and this is important, right? This time I right click on that and rather than selecting create free quotation, I select apply codes. When you select apply codes, what happens is that this selection is converted into a quotation and then you apply the code at the same time. So it's much faster, more convenient. Let's see how it works. Rather than selecting creating free quotation to create a quotation without any codes assigned to that, I select apply codes. Now, If I want to select any of the existing codes to this quotation, to this data segment, I can select them and they are applied to this quotation. So it becomes a quotation, quotation 9.1, as you can see, and this code has been applied to that. If I want, I can also define new codes to assign to this quotation. So code D, for example, I just click on this. Code E is another code. I just assign to this. Code may be F. So you can see you can add multiple codes. You can apply multiple codes to a single quotation. Is it clear? Very simple. So this time, using this approach, I didn't create a free quotation and later I just right click on that and apply codes. Rather than selecting the free quotation, let's do another example. Rather than selecting free quotation, I just select apply codes. And then I can select any of the existing codes to apply to this quotation, to create this quotation and apply these codes to it. Or I can define new codes and apply it to it. So you can see that code A, B, C, and G are applied to quotation 9.2, right? Is it clear? Now, look at this. Look at the codes that we have created here. Under the codes, you can see I have defined 7 codes, right? If I click on this triangle, you can see the name of the codes, right? And you can see that code A has been assigned to 3 quotations in my project. Let me close all of this. And remember, everything has been saved. So basically, you just close that. You can see the latest statistics about your project here. Also, you can see the details on the Explorer as well, right? So I have code A that has been assigned to how many quotations? 3 quotations. If I want to see these quotations, it's very simple. I just double click on this, and in this new window, I can see the 3 quotations with this code, right? Isn't it beautiful? Just imagine. This code, this quotation comes from document 1, this quotation comes from document 6, this quotation comes from document 9. All of them have been coded with code A. You can see that here, A, and A. So these are the 3 quotations coded with the code A, right? So just imagine how easy it is. Your supervisor will ask you, show me the quotations that have been coded with the code sustainability. You just double click on the sustainability code, have this, you can simply export it to an Excel file or to any other formats and then pass it to your supervisor. Just imagine how nice and easy it is, right? How about this one? The code D has been assigned to just 1 quotation in my project. If I double click on that, you can see that this quotation comes from document 9. It was the first quotation I created in document 9, right? Isn't it easy and beautiful? It's really simple. So let's just create some more codes in maybe audio files. So I have created a code, I have created a quotation in this file. Let me just go to this audio file. We just listen to the interview. From this moment, the person is talking about something important. So we just click on this button and then we continue. Here. So in this time frame, the interview is talking about something important in our research, right? So I just click on this, I pause the audio, and then I click on create quotation. And now you can see that I have created a new quotation in this particular audio file. But now I have to code it. So I just right click on this and select apply codes. Now, if I want to select any of the existing codes in my project, I just click on this button, or I define a new code for this, maybe code H and also code I are the codes that are related to this particular quotation, right? So you can see that I have created this quotation. The quotation starts from time second 6 until time second 21. You can see that here, right? So the duration of this quotation is about 15 seconds. Am I right? So if you want to listen to this part of the interview, when you select the quotation, you can play it. So you can simply listen to the quotations, to the audio quotations as well. Isn't it easy? Very simple. So let's create another quotation. There are two, I just told you that you can select a start and create quotation buttons to create your quotation. You can also click, drag and drop your mouse to create a quotation. For example, look at here, I just click here, drag, I just click here, sorry. I just click. Previously, you could have this drag and drop, just clicking, dragging, and dropping your mouse to create a quotation, but it says that in version 25, it doesn't work. Never mind. I just wanted to tell you that if you click somewhere in your audio file in this vertical line and then drag and drop your mouse here, a new quotation is created, but it seems that in version 25 it doesn't work. So never mind, you just need to use these two buttons, start and create quotations. So let's create another quotation. So for example, it starts from here, we just listen. I wanna hold you close to me, always hold it tight. Here, and then you create quotation. The quotation is created, so it will be quotation 5.2, right? I right click on this and select apply codes. I just select a few of the codes, or maybe I just add a new code, maybe code J, right? Very simple. This, we have the same procedure for video files. Let's just go to the video file. You have the start and create quotation buttons. So we just...
I have a tip for you, and then I'll back up and explain why it's important. In a change process, you will always find around you some people who basically always say, no, no. And they really strongly...
Maybe from here, we just click on the start. And then you can see this orange color mark here, right? Then you click continue.
Guys that resist to the death. We have a tendency to try to pull them in, to co-opt them into the process, to work away and change their minds.
Until here. And then you click on create quotation. Now you can see that the quotation has been created in this particular video file. So if I just click on this,
resist to the death. We have a tendency to try to pull them in, to co-opt them into the process, to work away and change their minds.
See? So this is our quotation that we have created. Now we want to code that. So we just use the apply codes. So remember, for audio and video files, you need to create the quotations and then code them. But for textual documents, you can simply apply codes, which means that you create a code and code them at the same time. Is it clear? So let me just apply a few codes to this. Now there are two codes coded assigned to this quotation, right? Is it clear? So let's see what we have in this project. I just close everything. As you can see, I have 10 documents. In document number 1, I have 1 quotation. You can see the quotation. If I double click on that, you can see the quotation within the document. If I click on this triangle, I can see the only code that has been assigned to this quotation. The grounded test value for this quotation is 4, which means that there are 4 quotations in project coded with this code, and this particular code is one of those 4 quotations. Is it clear? Very simple. In document D2, I have not created any quotation, so the value is 0. In document D5, I have 2 quotations. So if I want to listen to one of them, I just double click on that.
I wanna hold you close to me, always all the time.
So you can see that by just double clicking on the quotation in an audio document, it is displayed. It is played for you, right? Isn't it beautiful? Very simple. So basically, you are just trying to create quotations and code them. What is a quotation? Important data segment. What is a label? What is a code? A label that you assign to that quotation that summarizes the gist of that quotation into 1 or a few words. Is it clear?
Actually, I don't understand the means of the codes.
Then
told the quotation.
you need to, I told you, I don't want to spend time to read the quotation or listen to the interview. So when, for example, let's just do one example. Look at this. Look at this.
Introduction.
Look at this. With this, I mean, this is one document I have. We just read this. With respect to the concept of change-oriented leadership, and after the synthesis analysis of the results of the main studies focusing on categorizing leadership behaviors, 6 dimensions were identified to build the concept of change-oriented capability in academic context, which will be discussed in the following subsections. So this is important. I mean, I think this is an important data segment. So for me, this is a quotation, right? So what code I should apply to this? What is this paragraph all about? It is about change-oriented leadership, isn't it? Right? So if I want to apply a meaningful code to this, that code should be change-oriented leadership. Am I right? Because this paragraph is about change-oriented leadership, right? So just imagine you have interviewed people. So this is just something that someone has said in the interview. To you, this sentence is important. And this sentence is about what? It is about, the person is talking about change-oriented leadership, isn't it? So you just create a quotation, just write here, change-oriented leadership. Leadership, right? I just applied this. Then this is also about leadership behaviors, isn't it? This paragraph is about leadership behaviors. Am I right? I assign a new code. Leadership behavior. So you can see that I can simply assign 2 codes. Now, the code is a label. You look at this code, you can see that this paragraph, without reading this paragraph, when you look at these 2 codes, you know that this paragraph is about change-oriented leadership, it's about leadership behaviors. So the code is just a label, summarizes the information that you have in a quotation in an important piece of data segment into 1 or a few words. So this is a code. But we don't read everything, because if I want to spend, I don't want to waste your time by reading all of these things and then assign meaningful codes to these quotations, because it takes time. So we just assume that whatever code that we define and we assign to those quotations are in fact meaningful and relevant quotations. So basically you have some qualitative, you are doing a qualitative research. You have some research questions to answer, right? You have collected, you have interviewed people. You have interview data. You have asked some questions. For example, your question has been this from one lecturer. How do you ensure that the students make achievements? So the teacher, the interview explains, I do this, I do that, I take care of this, I take care of that. So you have that information. Now, those information, some of those sentences are important, related to your question. In the middle of the interview, that person might say something that is not related to your research. So you just skip that. You don't need that. That is not a quotation in your research. So when you find them, based on your research question, you can identify how these data elements are related to one another to help you answer your research questions. Okay? So basically, we are focusing on the technical aspect of qualitative data analysis. I want to show you what are the technical features that can help you answer your research questions in your qualitative research. Okay?
Yeah, understand.
All right. So, now let me ask you a question. We have, how many codes do we have here in this project so far? 12. We have 12 codes, right? And I want to ask you one question. In this research, in this particular research that we have done in this project, what is the most important code or concept? Which of these codes is more important? Why?
There's the most.
Perfect. What's your name?
Page.
Your name is?
Page.
Page. Perfect. The groundness value indicates the number of quotations assigned by a code, right? So we have collected data, we have coded everything, and then at the end you can see that, oh, I have one quotation coded with code F, which means that F is not a major code, it's not a major concept in my research. But now you have 5 pieces of data elements that supports code B, which means that code B is the most important code in your research so far. So when I examine PhD thesis, I always ask this question because they say that, okay, these are my codes, these are the quotations, they explain everything. Then I just ask them, which code is the most important code in your study? And the key to answer this simple question is that how many quotations are linked to that particular code? So this just gives you the information about the importance of the code in your research, right? So the number of the quotations that have been given some codes, the number of the quotations is very important. A code with a larger value of quotations, the number of quotations, when the number of quotations is high, it means that that code is more important. Does it make sense? Yes? Any questions so far?
It means numbers of the quotation is very important. So we give a category or we according to the numbers to justify the importance of quotation according to the numbers.
According to the number of quotations that have been assigned to a code, or that are linked to a code. So here we have collected. Just consider these 10 documents, all the qualitative data that we have collected to answer some research questions, right? So just imagine, just consider all of these as the data that have been collected. Now you have read everything, you have created quotations. Quotations means you have extracted important data segments that can help you answer your research questions. And then you have assigned some labels to those quotations. Now, when you have a label with 5 supporting quotations and another label with only 2 quotations, this means that in your research, the code with 5 quotations is a more important code because people have talked about this more frequently about that particular code, comparing with other codes in your data, in your within the data that you have collected. Any questions so far?
So how to transcribe interview by using ATLAS?
I think that if I'm not mistaken, there should be some features, but I haven't used that. Previously, there was some features to add transcript to audios, but transcripts were external files. But for this, because I haven't tried that, I can't remember. But I will check that and I will let you know. So, but as long as I remember, it was not a feature in previous versions, and at least until version 24, for which we had a workshop last year. You can have some transcript files and add them to audio files as a subtitle for a video, for example, something like that. But for transcribing, as long as I remember, I have never seen a feature that automatically in ATLAS.ti that automatically transcribe your audio files to textual documents. Any questions so far?
Excuse me, Prof. A little bit confused about quotation. Quotation as for example, we have a document for many pages, right? So you said that we use quotation save time for us. So do I need to? So that means we don't need to read all of them, or we need to.
In real research, you have to read everything.
Oh.
This is the first step in thematic analysis, familiarizing yourself with your data. I told you to save time, I don't read anything. We just assume that I have read this, I have identified a relevant quotation, and I have assigned a relevant and meaningful code to that quotation because we are focusing on the technical aspect of the software. So it's just an imaginary project. I mean, the codes are just A, B, C. This is not the code. In fact, the codes are like change-oriented leadership behavior. But I'm just, for simplicity, I'm just using the English alphabets as the codes. But the code A is not the code itself. Code means attitude, performance, satisfaction, leadership, sustainability, SDG, even the name of the people, but not the alphabets. I'm just using the alphabets just for the simplicity because I don't want to waste the time keying some words, you know. You get my point? You're clear about this? This is very important. Don't think that real qualitative research is like that. You just A, B, C. No, you have to read and listen. You know, I mean, I'm just demonstrating the techniques. Okay, the online people, are you clear about this?
Yes, Dr. Clear.
All right. So I'm just demonstrating the techniques. To do a proper qualitative analysis, you have to read the documents, you have to listen to the interviews. Even for the interview, for the audio, I'm just using the music. Just because I want to show you the technical aspects of the job, of doing the job. Okay? All right, so now that we have learned how we can import some documents and create some codes, let's have a look at some other methods of coding. All right, some other methods of coding. All right, let me just create this quotation. Let me just create a quotation and code it with a code. Look at this. I just used apply codes, and I just used code A and code B for this particular quotation, because this quotation is about code A and is about A and B. Is it clear? Now, if I just find another quotation, for example, from here to here from here to here, and this time rather than apply codes, I use quick coding. What happens? The codes that have been assigned to the previous quotation are automatically assigned to this new quotation. So in the previous example, we use code A and B, right? Code A and B. And now if I use quick coding, these two are applied to this quotation. So this is called quick coding. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes? Another feature is drag and drop coding. So for example, you just click on this quotation. All right, I just create maybe a free quotation this time without a code. And then from the list of the codes, I just drag and drop a code like that. See? So, I mean, because, I mean, coding is coding, but some people prefer to do drag and drop coding. Some people prefer to use the main apply code window. So basically there are different ways of creating codes, all right? Creating quotations and code them. So drag and drop coding is another feature. You can simply select any of the codes and drag and drop them here. Or for the other one, I mean, it's up to you. You can just go to other documents, you just select some other codes and just add codes to anything, see? This is called drag and drop coding. All right? Now, there is another feature which is called code in vivo. And that is good, especially when you have a small quotation, preferably less than 40 characters, 40 alphabets. Okay? Then you can use that small quotation as a code. For example, let me just go here. Look at this. I have envisioning change, right? It's less than 40 characters, isn't it? If I right click on that and select code in vivo, what happens is that the entire text becomes a code for this particular data segment, right? So this is called code in vivo. It is a good method for creating, for coding a small sized quotations. And in this particular method, the entire selected text becomes a code for that particular quotation. All right? But if you use this for a big quotation like this, it doesn't work well because, I mean, just the first 40 characters are extracted to create a quotation, to create a code. So look at this. If I select code in vivo, what happens is that it is just, I mean, the first 40 characters, if I'm not mistaken, become the code for this particular quotation. So we don't want this. We don't want, because this is not meaningful, right? Isn't it? It's not meaningful. But if it is just a few words, then it could be meaningful. So I'm just going to delete this code that I created by just going here, right-clicking on that, and then deleting it from my project. And obviously the quotation is also deleted, right? Is it clear? So code in vivo is good, but as long as you have a small quotation like this, right? And now if I apply quick coding, what happens? Facilitative collective learning will be the code that is assigned to this quotation, because it is quick coding now. Is it clear? So we have learned 4 manual types of coding. Number 1 is that you select apply codes. The other one is code in vivo. The other one is quick coding, and the other one is drag and drop coding, right? Is it clear? So these are some manual ways of creating quotations and coding them using 4 different manual methods. Is it clear? Online people, are you clear?
Yes, doctor.
That's good. All right, now let's do some document management, code management, and oh, before that, let me just create a memo, and then we go for management and organization of the data elements. Okay, so let me just close this, and close this. I want to create a memo. How I can do that? Very simple. I can simply go to this button and select a new memo. And remember, even if you want to create some new codes without assigning them to any quotations, you can define the codes. I mean, I can create a code. For example, let's just create a few codes. Maybe code J, K. I just created code K, L, and M. I have created these 3 codes. If I click on create, you can see that these codes are created here, right? But their grounded test value is 0 because they are not connected to any quotations. Am I right? So you can simply add any codes if you want. But anyways, now I want to create a new memo, all right? And to see how I can add some information to a memo and then convert it into a document so that we can have 11 documents rather than 10 documents. Is it clear? So I just click on new memo. I just need to give a name for this newly created memo. So memo 1 will be the name of this memo. Is it clear? So I just click on create. Now here I can write whatever I want. Let's assume that I have an interviewed page, okay? So today I interviewed her. She was tired. She did not provide good information. The internet was interrupted as well. Okay? If I want, I can change the fonts to bold and italic, whatever I want to do. If I want, I can insert a picture, for example. So I just I don't know where I have picture, maybe just go here. I have a photo folder previously, yes. Oh, these are our workshops from previous years. Let's just go here, maybe this one. I just add this picture as well. Why it is not displayed? It should be here. Let's do it again. Insert. Or maybe I just close it and open it again. No. I don't know why it was not inserted. Let's try this. I think this is a bug in the new version because you can simply add a picture here, like what we have here. For example, like this one. So this is a memo and I have added one picture, right? Can you see this picture? So we can do the same thing here, but I think this is a problem right now, a bug maybe in this new version. So let's just do something good. I'm just going to send the feedback to them. It seems that pictures cannot be inserted in a new memo in the new release of the software. And then you can also add your email here. Okay. All right, how important is this to you? Okay, it's critical, and then we submit. So we just inform them that basically there is a problem here, right? So they can take care of that. So anyways, in the previous version, you could add you could add pictures, you could add date and time. Still date and time works. So this is the date and time for creating this memo, as you can see. But the picture was not inserted. And I'm a little bit, it's not good. But anyways, so this is the memo that we have created, right? And now I just close this and it is safe. So I just close all of this. Under the memo, you can see that the value is 1 now. It means that there is one memo. If I double click on that, I can see the content of the memo. Am I right? Now, I can, if I select this paragraph, I cannot, you can see that there is no apply codes or creating free quotations options here, right? Which means that memos are not analyzable, right? So if I want to analyze the content of this memo, I have to convert it into a document. How I can do that? It's very simple. I just close this. I go to the Explore section. I right click on this memo. And here there is one option, convert to document. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Convert to document. So I just click on that, and what happens is that if you look at here, the number of my documents is now 11, right? And it is also opened here automatically, document D11, which is built based on my memo 1. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now this is my document. I close it, I open it again, you can see that. This time I select this paragraph, I right click on that, and you can see all the features for creating quotations and codes are available now, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a memo, I mean, you can add a lot of information to memos, and then after that, you will be able to convert the memo into a document, and then you can analyze the document, right? So this is a memo that we created just now. We just converted that memo into a document. Let's just create a new memo, another memo, maybe memo 2. I'm really curious why the picture was not in. Maybe the size of these pictures, there is a problem with the size.
Able to put one in my document.
Oh, you could do that? It is a Mac version?
Yeah.
So I think, oh, now it worked. Okay, now ATLAS.ti will communicate with me and tell me, oh, don't send to us crazy feedback. Never mind. So you can see that we have this. It's too big. And you can select that, but you cannot resize it or something like that. There is also no zoom button here. Never mind, this is a picture that we have inserted here. Let me just delete it. I just insert date and time. And I just select the picture. All of them are quite big pictures. Let me see if we have. Some smaller. It's interesting, you know, sometimes it is inserted, sometimes it doesn't. Can you see that? So anyways, still our feedback is meaningful, so they can at least see or maybe check that later. So I just close. All right, so we have created 2 memos. We have 17 documents, we have 17 codes. All of the information are also displayed here, as you can see. We have 11 documents, 17 codes, 14 quotations, 2 memos, right? In this project. Am I right? All right. Now, before you start eating your lunch, I want to share this file with you. I want to show you how you can export this and send it to your supervisor. For example, your supervisor tells you, okay, send all the analysis that you have done. If you don't use the software, you have to give him or her a lot of textual document, a lot of boxes, right? But this way, you can simply close your project, save everything, and then you can right click on this, import projects. There is no, where is this? Import. I have to maximize this maybe. Reserve. Into duplicate. Export this project. What is this? Reserve set. No. Previously, you could simply export your project using one of the options here, but it seems that now, again, it doesn't work. Never mind. Maybe after lunch, you just try to figure out how you can export your project, or maybe you just share the link, you upload it. Maybe this time you just need to upload it to a cloud. Let me just upload this to the cloud. Okay, now it is uploaded, and you can see this black tick mark here, right? Which means that it is uploaded on the cloud. And now you can share it. Please enter okay, so you have to put the email of the person you want to share this with them, and then you can use the copy button below to copy the invitation link, then share it with the other user. So maybe, you just simply need to add the email address of the recipient, and then click on this button, and then copy this. A link is generated here, and then you can share it with other people. But as long as I remember, that person should also use Atlas. They need to have account for ATLAS.ti.
There's an option of this.
Oh, it is Windows based? Where is it?
Yeah.
Let me see. No, the document, you mean here? This one, export? No, this is not what I mean. This is not what I mean. You can export, previously you could simply oh, it's here. Oh, sorry, it's here. You don't need to close the project. You just need to go to File menu, and then here there is Export button. Then you can export your file, including everything, into a project bundle, and then you just make sure that you select everything and just create the project bundle and save it somewhere. I just save it in my computer on my desktop.
Oh, okay.
And now I just close my project, I close my ATLAS.ti. If I go to my desktop, you can see that I have this project file. If I share this with you, later you can use the import feature to import it into your project. I will share this with you, okay? So if I want, okay, now let me just show it to you. I just delete this project. Okay? Now I import the project from my computer here, right? It's like what you do. So it's like, so you can see that I have the project with all the codes, quotations, everything, right? So you can export your project, send it to other people, other